So so those are the three things, if you can remember. The Dalcroze approach to music is using Eurhythmics, which is a flow, and also using Solfege, which is interval pitch training, and improvisation, which ties up the solfege with the rhythmics. Now, what at the heart of the Dalcroze approach is the link. Now, Dalcroze discovered when he was teaching at the Conservatoire in Geneva, when he was teaching adults, that the adults didn't really seem to have a sense of musicality. They had the correct technique. So when he was teaching the piano, he noticed the students could sit at the piano, correct posture, they could play, they had the right correct technique. And yet, when he listened to the sound that they were making, although the notes and the timing were correct, they lacked the soul and the feeling and the expression. They lacked the music. And what he said is they lacked the musicality. So this is how this is sort of like a problem, and he solved the problem by coming up with the Dalcroze approach of Eurhythmics and solfege and improvisation. And he found that it was much easier to teach the Dalcroze approach to the small children, because the small children aren't hindered by the intellectual concepts of what they've learned as adults, up to adults. And the children, it just goes straight forward, and they really get it really quickly. But what Dalcroze saw that was really lacking was that the adults that he was teaching, they didn't actually have much control of the body. So also they couldn't improvise when he was trying to teach them improvisation exercises. Whereas these small children, if you start teaching them from a young age, they seem to just get it in a click of a moment, click of a heartbeat. So what is important for musicians, if you want to get musicality, is you need to have control of your body. So in other words, your nervous system or your brain, when you decide you want to move, say you decide in your head you want to go to the left, or you want to go to the right, or you want to go up or down, you want to go loud or soft, or you want to float like a butterfly, or whatever you want to do, you have to be able to, when you think that what you want to do, you need to be able to express yourself straight away. So this is the essence of Dalcroze. It links the body, the mind to the body, and gives control of the mind over the body. And there's so many exercises that they have, and components. So for rhythm, Eurhythmics, there are 34 elements of rhythm. And I've got a little handout here I can show you. Here we go. 34 elements of rhythm. So there's, well, time, space, energy. There is regular beats, tempo, dynamics, nuances of dynamics, articulations, accents, measures, rest, duration, and it goes on and on and on. 34. So in the exercises that you do with children, you will go through these. Obviously not all at once, I mean over a period of time, over a couple of years. And then with solfege, they also have exercises here. So solfege is, well, they follow the French system. Well, it is, yes, he does speak French, of naming the notes. So in English, we just call the notes, well, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. But then again, we start on the piano, we start from little c, so it goes C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. But to name the notes, like to say the C in French would actually be do. It's just how they call their letters. So we would say do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. And we can sing it, and we can do exercise. So do, re, mi, do, mi, do, re, re, do, re, do. And here we go. He's written, Dalcroze has written a lot of exercises. This one here is the an exercise over. He actually likes to use a one-line staff just to start off with, to make it easy for the small children, and two-line staff. And what he does is he has like a note on, say, either on middle C, and then the notes can be either on middle C, so on the line. Here we go. The notes can be on the line or just above the line. So say here's a note. We could have a note. This is actually C. We can have a note on the line or you can have the note going up. So do, re, do, re, re, do, 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 re, 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 do, re, do. So it could either be on the line or just above the line, or it can go underneath. Or of course, it depends where you want to set it. You could have the note on here, on the G, sol, and then just above, and just under. Those are just examples. And then for improvisation, we have what he's done. For example, there's a bit of music here with movement. So we've got music here for us to play on the piano while the child is running, so we can get them to run. We've got music for marching, music for tiptoeing. And then there's some very good exercises by Fritz. And I've got a little video here. Now, a lot of the Dalcroze exercises use stories for the small children. It's because it engages them. So they'll have the little stories where, like, once upon a time, there's a exercise here for leprechauns. Once upon a time, there were nice leprechauns tiptoeing through the clover. So then you get the children to tiptoeing through the clover to time, and you do it to time like quavers. It started to rain. That carries on. And on Fritz, he's got some good videos on YouTube. And one of them is on the bunny. Let me see what we have here about the bunny. Now this one here, this video about the bunny is introducing children, or getting them familiar with the concepts of the dynamics, and also like volume as well, like soft. P is piano for soft, and F is forte for loud. There's a good quote here actually by Piaget, and which says, "To know something is not merely to be told it or to see it, but to distract upon it." So one of the reasons I like Dalcroze's approach is because it's like a kinesthetic approach. It involves the whole body, the whole being. So it's based on experience, and that's what Dalcroze is all about. It's about the person, about you, your child, the music student, actually experiencing music, feeling it, hearing music, listening to it, and then when they listen to music, having like suddenly clicking their hands, or tapping their feet, just swaying. Just they hear the music, and they, without even thinking about it, they just instinctively want to move, or want to react, or want to play, or they want to do something, whether it's composing to the music or dancing around to the music. Yes, here's another good quote. I'll read this out to you. "The aim of Eurhythmics is to enable pupils at the end of their course to say, not 'I know,' but 'I have experienced,' and so to create in them the desire to express themselves, for the deep impression of an emotion inspires a longing to communicate it to the extent of one's powers to others." It's about feeling experience, active listening, movement, improvisation, and uniting the body, mind, and spirit. And Paula Melville Clark, who's in Australia, she said this quote. She said, we hear first, then from what we hear, it makes our muscles want to move, and when we move, we feel. I think that's really good. Right, here is a video. So this is a video of the bunny on YouTube. It's a Fritz video, so if you do a search for Fritz, you'll find it. The Fritz bunny video. And these are the words actually. They're talking about a story. So in this video, which is an activity for children to do in Dalcroze, they say these are, well, in the video you can see these are someone playing the piano and someone reading out a story, and this is how the story goes. Once upon a time, there were some wonderful kids that became very tired, and they shut their eyes, and they had the nicest dream. And then you just play some music along to that. They dreamed that they were brown, white and grey bunnies with little cotton tails, and they were asleep in their warm beds when the very loud forte alarm clock rang and the bunnies jumped out of bed. So the music gets very loud and they have to jump out of bed. So getting them to act, so jump out and then be loud. They sort of sneak in different dynamics, like the music theory language into the story, which is a great way to teach music theory to children, makes it fun. So they've put forte in there, which is loud. They're talking about 16th notes, which is a semicravers. And then they're talking about, upper teeth. So they're going up, upper teeth and lower teeth, upper teeth and lower teeth. Then they took a legato drink of water. So they're using it in context, the music term. Legato, a drink of water. Then with an accent, they spit it out. And then they mention here quarter and eighth notes, which are crotchets and what we know as crotchet and craven notes. Accented quarter notes, which would be accented crotchet notes. And it goes on from there. Then the bunnies tremble high up to tremolo and upper register. Middle C's. But I shall play the video because it's much more exciting than just me reading this out to you. Right. Oops. Here you go. So that was an example of getting the children to distinguish the high notes and the low notes. So it's playing the middle of the notes of the piano. So they're jumping around, they're using the whole body as they learn these music concepts. So they're jumping first, second, third. So it's like up to five letter lines, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Getting them familiar with it, jumping. Yeah, so this is a really good way of getting them to learn. And of course they have more exercises as well. Right, I think I've gone over time for tonight's training, but I will be doing some more. So what Dalcroze likes to do is I get the children to listen. So you listen to the music. So first of all, you need to hear the music, listen to it, analyze it, and then once you've heard the music, then you can create the music. You can write it down yourself. Once they've got to the stage of writing the notation for themselves, they can write it on there, create their own music. So for a Dalcroze lesson, you'll be doing warm-up, simple movement exercises for the solfege, for whichever things you're doing, subject you're doing. And then you develop the skills of your Eurhythmics, and then you do group activities an activity to a piece of music. So if you're homeschooling your child, then you're going to be teaching your child, and so you need to just focus on one specific subject that you're going to be doing. So don't overwhelm the child. Just choose one thing that you're going to do for the lesson. Give clear, audible instructions. Only one instruction at a time for the child to follow, so they don't get confused. And then you need to adjust your voice and use the appropriate voice and volume and tone as you're giving the instructions, and you need to improvise the music. So you can sit at the piano, improvise at the piano while you watch the students move. Now, if you haven't studied piano yourself and you're not familiar on how to do these things, then you can just you can look up these videos on YouTube and you can play the videos for your child, or you can just sing unaccompanied. You don't need a piano, you can just sing. Or you can use bells as well. So there are lots of references. I'm going to put them up a bit later on so you can take a look. I'll put them up on my website so you can easily see those. So training, I'm going to do another training next week, which will be training number 2, and this will be on solfege, and I'm going to be showing you some practical exercises that you can do at home with your child to do some pitch training. So that's it for today. Thank you so much for joining me, and I shall see you next week.